Welcome back to the podcast, Kletus Roadside Service. It is now September 11th. September 10th, 2025 was a weird fucking day. And I don't, is it weird? It was just shocking. It was a shocking day, you know. But now we've made it, we are on our 24th anniversary of the towers being struck by airplanes. The Pentagon, another flight that went down, Building 7, uh, and I don't know, some other weird shit probably happened. Where were you when the towers went down? I don't remember. I was so young, 24. So yeah, I was like 10 years old. I mean, I remember shit from before I was 10 years old, but the actual towers going down, I'm pretty sure I was kind of shielded from it. You know, it's like, oh shit, this shit's going down. I think I was in school. I think, yeah, it was elementary, so they weren't like, hey, everybody watch the news, watch some gruesome ass shit. Let's fuck with your childhood right now and let you watch some crazy stuff. Like, you see that thing right there falling off the building? That's a person jumping. You know, nobody did that for me. You know, I've seen a lot of footage of 9/11, and I don't know, like some of the talking points about it is, remember how together we were after 9/11? You know, everybody was friendly. Everybody hated Muslims for some reason. You know, um, we still don't even know exactly what went on. Exactly. You know, a lot of people, we've been saying the same shit year after year, but there's still questions that have not been answered. And I'm not asking the questions. Hey, listen, I'm not the one. I'm not over here trying to break apart any conspiracies. I'd like to know what the answers are to some other people's questions. I'm not over here digging. I'm not a sleuth. I'm not over here trying to figure things out. I'm just a guy outside driving his truck, and it's like, hey, what if it does come out that our government had something to do with it? I still have to go to work. I still have to go to work. I still have to do things. It's like, I don't know. Eventually, you know, things would change. Hopefully, in the government, you know, that we'd find out who was, you know, behind anything. Maybe people had heads up. Maybe people had information. I don't know. I don't know. But obviously, if you watch, if you've ever heard of the man Alex Jones, which is a crazy thing, you know, it sounds fucking insane to bring him up, but he is 100%. He knew it was going to happen, and he wasn't the only one to know it was going to happen, and he was trying to let it be known, and it still happens. So it's like, even if you do go, if you were some sort of time traveler and you can go back into the past, I don't know if you could even make a difference, you know, because nobody's going to listen to you. They're going to call you a kook until after it happens. So it's like, all right, oh shit, he knew about it, but it still happened. It's like, yeah, but you know, if people would maybe take a little bit of caution and know things, you know, I don't know, but it is kind of insane because I've always thought of Alex Jones as kind of a crazy kook, frogs are gay type of guy. Um, and I would listen to him for like little entertainment here and there. But after having him go on to like a Joe Rogan podcast and him fact checking and looking at all the shit, he might punch up a couple of things here and there, but try to find where he's wrong. That's where you're kind of you're it's hard to find where he's wrong. on almost anything and everything he says. Now, with the circumstances that happened with that like Sandy Hook deal, that was not cool. That was an interesting take. But yeah, it's crazy what's going on these days. I sat down with my wife last night and we were just talking about all kinds of crazy shit. And I think this is something I didn't even bring up yet to my listeners. A lot of people already know about it, but because it was in the Congress or whatever the fuck that meeting shit is, where they're like, "Hey, what the fuck is this?" And they put up a video of a flying orb over the ocean floor or over the ocean, and they shoot a hellfire rocket at it, and it hits the orb. They hit the target, and something exploded, but it didn't stop. And the hellfire missile was like 50% the size of this fucking orb. Like, the missile was giant compared to the orb. And it hit it, a hellfire missile, blasted into this fucking orb. Direct shot. And it just keeps going. What in the world are we looking at here? What the hell is that thing? Holy shit. And I understand that the Congress people, they were like, listen, that is a very interesting video, but why do we not know about this? You know, and that happened, that was last year. So that's like, it's not like super duper grainy images and stuff. It's pretty fucking clear of what it is. It's black and white video, you know, radar or whatever, but holy shit, that was fucking insane to see that. And for it to be a real thing going on right now. I mean, real in this simulation is that orb. And then last night, I don't know, I was a ton of Charlie Kirk videos and stuff, and it's like, I'm gonna take a break. We know what happened. We still, I think at this point in time, 9:59, I guess I could have said 10, on September 11th a.m. Central Time. I also haven't been on my phone very much yet today, but I don't know if they've still have not found the shooter, which is very disheartening. I saw a couple of videos, so they did have a guy, they took a guy down right after the shooting. Turns out he was not associated with that, so they let him go. And then I saw another video of cops, but I don't know. It's hard to tell. It's just a video of cops arresting a guy with a gun. Is that even in the same city? Is that old shit? Is that new shit? I don't know. And that's where the world today is. People jump so far to conclusions right now. And I'm not saying that's not him, and they didn't find him, but there are people out there trying to get content. They will use every tragedy to try to get content, try to get clicks, try to just stir the pot. And so yeah, let's just say, okay, this guy got shot, he died. Let me just put up a random video that not a lot of people see of a guy with a gun getting arrested, and just make a post saying, this is the guy, they got him, even though that's not, you know, it's completely fake. So you really gotta watch out, because the people on the internet, it's like, I feel like I'm a person on the internet, but I'm not like these other people on the internet. I don't even comment on anything ever. I don't comment. I don't really make posts unless it's just about my podcast or something, or a picture of something cool. These other people, they will just spew all kinds of shit out into the internet, and then, you know, a couple of days later, they're gonna need to be retracting some statements and shit. They're like, oh shit, that was actually wrong. Sorry, and you don't know what post and what image and what video is actually gonna end up blowing up. So, anyways, yes, unfortunately, Charlie Kirk did pass away yesterday. At the time I recorded that little segment, I did not know at the time. There was still a little glimmer of hope. A lot of people had the same take that I did, where after I saw the close-up image or video of what happened, I said, there's no fucking way. That's not a good, you can't really get shot in that spot, and there's not much you can do, unfortunately, and it's super fucking sad. Because, with me and my wife last night, we were talking. I was like, he's 31, he has 2 kids, and a wife, and just a whole life ahead of him. And now I'm a little bit older than he is, but not much. But I had kids at his age. I was in the same exact situation. I had 2 beautiful children and a wife, and I mean, I guess it's a little selfish to think, oh, you guys can't survive without me, but it's honest, like, I need to be there for my children. I have to be around. And now these poor children and his poor wife their entire life just got thrown up into the air. And it's good. Nothing will ever be the same for them. The dreams, the aspirations, the future of this family is really, I mean, they're going to have a great community behind them. I think they're going to be okay, either financially and support-wise. But still, it doesn't matter. My kids would probably be fine. We have a great support, facility around us. Not facility. Support around us. We've got a lot of close family and friends that would definitely come in to help out. But I'm selfish. I want to be there. I need to be there. I cannot imagine what it would do to my children for me to not be around anymore. It's so sad. And I do know people that have lost parents, and it's super sad. It's, I've lost my dad. I want to say it was easier on me because I was already out of the house and grown up, and I was in a better mindset. But my brothers, they relied on my dad for a lot. He was dad. He was always there. He was always helpful. He was always happy, in a good mood, giving you hugs, just being a really good dad. And then he's gone. Now, my dad died of medical reasons that were very sudden. I mean, it was conditions that he had that he needed to be taken care of, and whatnot. He did go to the doctor quite often, but his health got him, and that's another thing that kind of scares me about myself, is that I'm fatter than he ever was at a younger age. So I don't know. I don't know. The only advantage I can take from the Charlie Kirk thing is that I want to go hug my kids. I want to be with my kids. I want to try to maybe live a better lifestyle. Yeah, because you never know. I mean, and I do a lot of dangerous ass shit. I mean, I'm in a pretty dangerous field. I mean, it is rare, but it is not uncommon for somebody to, for a truck driver to, get into an accident, or just a truck driver, they die. Truck drivers die in, truck stops all the time. Like, just maybe you didn't catch eyes with that trucker before you started walking in front of his truck, or um, you ate too many goddamn chicken wings and you're choking on a bone by yourself in your sleeper cab. Um, or in a hotel. I mean, Bob Saget went down like that. Um, I ride a motorcycle. I mean, that's probably, like, out of all the risky things I do, riding a motorcycle is probably the highest one, and it's something I choose to do. Um, and I really do enjoy riding a motorcycle, and I just try to keep my head on a swivel as much as I can. I don't I don't think the fear of dying on a motorcycle, I don't think is going to keep me from riding a motorcycle. I think I'm going to keep riding the motorcycle. I don't think there's much that's going to get me away from that. I'm just going to try to be a nice, responsible rider, and also just keep my head on a swivel. I elaborate a lot. I talk about, just having fun, just to be funny and stuff. But I am a pretty responsible rider. I do, break the law here and there, speeding and whatnot, but I'm never doing it in a dangerous way, I don't think. I don't think it's in a dangerous way. I think it's in a, the safest way to speed possible. I don't know. I don't know. Maybe I'm fucking lying to myself right now, but yeah, just really, I don't know. Like I said, the only positive that comes out of Charlie Kirk getting shot is that I want to be with my family more. Can I be with my family more? I probably could, but I'm out here driving. I got to go stay in a hotel tonight. I saw them last night. I got to sit with them and hang out with them, but I was already in, like, a different mood, just from the day. I was in a mood. I wasn't like normal happy dad. I was kind of just sitting on the couch, just come over here and hug me, kiddos. Ate some dinner and hung out a little bit, and then put them to bed. Um, yeah, and I don't know. You gotta know that there was always, that could have been a thought in his mind. It had to have been. It had to have crossed his mind at some point in time that one of these people that he is, talking to at these events might try to pull some shit. I mean, they're already pretty illiterate whenever they get up there and try to prove their point against his, and they don't make it. They don't do it. So, um, and history has shown that sometimes when people don't like what you're saying, they will go to extreme lengths to shut your ass up. And so it had to have crossed his mind at some point in time. I do like that he was really big into his religion. So, um, you know, it's like, oh, he's one of the lucky ones that gets to go to the other side and all that goodness stuff. I don't know. He was a good guy. He was a really interesting guy. Now, it's not like I sat here. I was really good friends with him. I really watched him all the time. I followed everything he did, but I would enjoy to watch his clips every now and again. And it's just really sad to think that somebody can't sit down and just have a discussion and show his point of view to people that he thinks are wrong. And I haven't seen anybody beat him in a debate. I haven't seen anybody get one over on him. And then these people that are post up on the internet are going to say all kinds of crazy shit no matter what. There's nothing you can do about that. But whenever we have these news organizations, they're like, "Oh, Charlie Kirk is dead. He was a very polarizing figure, and he was wrong about this and this and this." And it's like, what? Hold on, what are you doing here? I heard I was listening to Ben Shapiro because him and they were pretty close, and he was bringing up some of these articles that were brought up from other news organizations about the passing of him, and they're just heartless. They're like, hey, let's get some clicks on this shit. Let's get some fucking clicks on this. Let's yeah, he got shot, he's dead. Let's go ahead and keep piling on. It's like you can say what you want, you can spout your opinion about somebody, but hey, maybe in the post that you're making where they were murdered, you kind of let your differences go and be nice, you know? I mean, it was expected. It's expected out of some of these people. But really, they really know how to show up and show who they are and where they're at. And I don't know. I don't know what else to say about that. I have thought, so getting into more personal shit here, the video game talk that I had with the CEO the other day, that went really well, I believe. But I don't know. I might email the guy and say, and kind of give him another little take of things that I thought about afterwards, a little bit of mind changing that I had. I changed my mind a little bit on little Timmy, getting to play the game for free. I think this is the route that I'd really like to take with the video game. If something happens with this video game, I honestly I don't want to be a part of any of the negotiations with pricing and stuff. I don't want. I mean, I don't know if me being associated, like people know me as a cool guy, on in that video game space, and I don't want people pointing their finger at me saying, "Hey, you're the reason I can't play the map now." No, I think I want to just let them do what they want to do. Make as much money as you possibly can on the game, or do whatever you want to do. You guys have a whole division, I'm sure, dedicated to promotion and marketing and pricing and whatnot to figure out. You guys have all the metrics and stuff. I'm just some fucking guy that used to play the game a lot. So you guys do that. Let me create the content. If you give me the tools to create the best content that I can create, let me go wild. Let me make some really cool shit. Give me that, and then you sell it. You do what you want to do with it. And if I can pick up some royalties on the back end, that would be great. But just the possibility of me possibly being able to create even more interesting maps on this game, and with the incentive to get paid from it, I'm going to definitely invest a lot of time and creativity into making some cool fucking shit for people to play on this game. A lot of people don't credit me as a trail builder and whatnot, so I think it would be really cool if I could, because I like to hide the trails. I like hidden trails. I like trails that are kind of hard to navigate and a lot more creative, because it's not just a one single trail through the woods. It's like a trail that you can branch off to the left, you can branch off to the right, you go underneath the ground here, you go over the bridge over here, and some of them lead over here and some of them lead over there, and you can take a completely different path every single time, and it will never get old. That, at least that's what I have with Twin Rivers Lake. A lot of people that don't know, I guess, they get on there, and I didn't really make it as up right in your face. This is a trail that the serious trail guys don't want to get on my map because it's more of an RP map. Listen, it's an RP map, but there's also some really cool trails on there too. Like, it's actually, it's really, and as long as you don't fucking lift your truck to the fucking moon and throw on gigantic tires, they're going to be an interesting trail. They're not going to be super difficult, but they're going to be really fun to just kind of cruise. You could fly through them if you want, but I mean, they're not really meant for that. They're more meant for realistic trail driving. Like, if I'm really in a square body truck driving through the woods, and honestly, a real truck square body would need to be built pretty fucking beefy to do some of these trails. But it's attainable with a lightly modified vehicle, and that's what I mean. That's what I enjoy, and that's how I'm going to keep making my maps. So yeah. Anyways, if I end up getting into this map creator program, I think I will put more dedication to more trail riding stuff, because that's what a lot of people like to do. But there's always, I'm never gonna make a map and not have a little bit of an RP aspect to it. There's got to be a fire watch tower, or there's got to be a meeting hub or a campground or a little town or a highway, because you're not just dropped in the middle of the woods. You got to get off the highway to go through the little town, and then the trails lead off from there. That's how I want to do it, and I can maybe scale down the town a little bit more, and then more focus on the trails and stuff. But I've got one map that's pretty fucking cool. I isolated one of the towns very much. Like, so there's a little tiny town, and it's pretty highly detailed because it's so small. I was able to focus on every little area of the map, rather than just throwing up some buildings and not really putting a lot of detail into them. That the town is really fucking cool, but really small, and another, like, a small neighborhood and a small trailer park and a small little storage unit, water tower, a little gas station. It's got like a storefront, and it's got like an entrance road and everything. So it's a very small town, but it's jam packed, and it looks really fucking cool, I think. But most of the map is trail rides, but they're easy trail rides. It's just like creek beds and mountains and stuff. And if I really wanted to spend my time and go through like places where I haven't put trails yet, I could definitely make it up pretty fucking cool. It's also got like a boat ramp. There's a boat ramp. Oh, and in the middle of the map, there's a couple of little ponds and stuff, but I also added in mud drags. So there's like a drag strip through mud, with like a little stadium and bleachers and stuff. I had to create the bleachers myself, but just using random props, like signage and shipping containers and stuff. But anyways, there's also there's a bunch of Easter eggs in there, because in the hills I added a moonshine still. There's I just try to create a cool looking little moonshine still, kind of halfway camouflaged up in the hills. And there's actually a job there, because in the game you can do jobs. You can set up like a job, like you got to deliver blah 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 to wherever. And I set it up so people can go there. So because the moonshine, like, honestly, you can find it, but it's kind of hard to see. Like, even the last time I got on the map and I was like, oh, I want to see what's going on over here, I was like, where did I put it? And I couldn't find it. I mean, I did find it, obviously. It didn't take very long. I just had to kind of go over there, but it was really camouflaged. So a lot of the people that play that map, if they're not going to do a job, they might not even know about this moonshine still out in the woods. But anyways, yeah. So that's what I might be doing tonight. I might be getting on the game tonight and trying to figure out which map might be a good one. Because I think either I'm going to start a fresh map, which I'm kind of hesitant to start a new map completely. I kind of like to have a map, like just work on something that I've already got and just add on to it and make it good, because they're pretty unpopular because nobody really knows about them. I haven't really promoted them much. Um, the only people that know about them are people that, you know, or are either in my Discord or um, search my name in the game and then go to these maps and then they're like, oh shit, this is actually a pretty cool map. So I don't know. I don't know what this is going to be. I don't really know if I want to spend a whole bunch of time on my phone to make these maps. If I could potentially get a computer program and more things to do, like more creativity I could put into the maps. So I don't know. It's going to be very, very interesting. I still have not talked to my group guys about anything yet. Kind of wait. I don't want to jump the gun, and I don't want to get them all fired up and them start messaging people or whatever I don't think they would do that, but they might be like, "Hey, what about me?" or something. And I don't need to. I don't want to show the CEO guy that I'm out here just blabbing about everything, even though I'm doing it on the podcast. But I think the podcast is okay. I think it's okay to do it on here. Um, and I mean, this is where I come to speak things out loudly, and so I can hear things and think of things in a different way. That's another thing I was talking to my wife about. She was like, "I think everybody needs therapy," and we were getting into some of that stuff. But I was like, "Yeah, well, honestly, like the podcast that I do is kind of my therapy." She's like, "No, it is not." I was like, "Yeah, yeah, it kind of is, because I mean, I used to come home and bring all of my dirty laundry to you and bitch about shit all the fucking time because I had nobody else to talk to. Um, but now, since I've started the podcast, there's been a heavy decline in me talking about work at home, which I think is for the better. I don't need to, I'm out here making money. You just need to know that I'm out here making money. You don't need to know all of my problems and whatnot. So that's where you guys come in. You guys come in great. You're awesome. I love being able to just get on here and talk. And hopefully at least people that have listened for a long time, realize that I changed my mind quite a bit. I'm not set in stone on almost any aspect, except for, maybe square bodies are the best. I am the best forklift operator that's ever lived. Um, you know, there are a couple of things I'm concrete on, but even concrete can be broken. They put up new stop signs out here. All right, we're at the landfill. I'll be right back. All right, gotta love it whenever I gotta go up here and dump and come back down and reweigh. I don't like reweighing. So convenient whenever they just let me run through, but whatever. Whatever. I ain't got much else going on today. Just got to go get loaded and head down to Alva. Hang out down there. yeah. So the I don't know. I want to. I'm gonna try to sit and think about writing an email to this guy, explaining some more things that I've reflected on. Fuck Timmy and fuck his mom and his money and all that. Hey, you gotta pay, motherfucker. Timmy, you gotta pay, dude. Actually, I'm not doing that. I'm not being that guy. I'm being the guy that's like, hey, Timmy, listen, I don't make the fucking rules. But if you because my wife also brought it up. She's like, well, yeah, why would you care? She's like, it's nice you kind of think that way, but she's like, there's several games that you can't pay, you can't play any games without paying some money. And if they're going to keep the base game basically open, but special content that you are going to spend a lot of time and effort to build, honestly, having somebody have to pay for it makes more sense than you just giving away a lot of your creativity for free. And which I guess I kind of understand that, because I guess I think of Stevie V a little bit. Him making all these paintings and stuff. It's something that he enjoys doing. He goes out and he paints, and he's got his studio set up, and he makes all this great artwork. And yeah, you can have two different mindsets of, I want my artwork to be out there, so I'm going to make it free or very affordable, and he sells his artwork. Or he could say, you know what, I'm gonna actually price my shit for what I think it's worth. He's like, I don't think he half-asses his own artwork. I think he puts in 110% of his skill into his artwork. That yeah, you got to pay for that shit. Come on, man, you got to pay for that shit. I'm trying to make a living here, and I guess the same could almost be put into the game. I'm not the game creator. So, and I don't know, after talking to some people, I'm not the game creator. I'm not the guy that's collecting. I mean, eventually, it sounds like I will be collecting some sort of financial from the game, but um, it's not mine. Let them do what they want to do. And if everybody's going to benefit in the end, I think that's good. Because even Timmy spending $4.99 a month or whatever, he, he doesn't give a he doesn't know about money. But if his parents are going to be willing to put that money onto his account and let him play this game and have all the exclusive shit, but I don't know. It still, I still have the feeling of, fuck, every fucking game costs money. What the hell? That's where, it's like every game I like to play has a bunch of ads all over it, and it's like, I really don't want the ads, but I don't know. But I'm also a guy that's not gonna. I'm not gonna spend $1.99 on Hole.io or whatever. It's a really fun game where you're like a mouse scooting across a map, and you're eating buildings and people and cars and sharks and boats and whatnot and buildings and everything. It's a really fun game, but it's got a bunch of ads and shit all over it, and it's like, God damn, I'd like to just play this game. But that's a little like time suck game. So I don't know. I don't even know if this is coming across as I want it to come across, but yeah, I'm gonna leave it up to them to decide, and I just want to be there to benefit from it. That's where I'm at. That's where I'm at. So, I think I'm gonna try to record some more a little bit later on. I'm kind of done right now. There's a lot of really good podcasts that came out recently that I want to listen to. But I was caught up in some shit yesterday, so I didn't get to listen to any of them. We got Will Sasso on the Harland Highway, which is fucking awesome. And we got Carrot Top on Joe Rogan, which is fucking awesome. And we got some other stuff. So I've got plenty of stuff to listen to. I just was not in the mood to listen to funny shit yesterday. I'm backing up. Backing it up. Told the guy, I was like, hey man, can you clean this area up so my boots don't stink like fucking death? Yeah, I'll clean it up for you, man. I said, can you grab the hose and bring the hose over so I don't have to step in the shit? Yeah, I'll do that. He didn't do it. Here he is. He's bringing it over now. Alright, anyways, I'll be back later. Well, I told you guys I'd come back, and I almost forgot to come back, but I didn't forget all the way. I still got a ways to go. Got a little issue here going on where I can't turn off my fucking earbuds. That's one thing. I think all earbuds. I mean, I got these JBL earbuds. I do like them, but listen, I need to be able to turn these bitches off. And you can't turn them off. You got to put them back in the fucking charging thing. It's like, come on, man. Let me just turn them the motherfuckers off. Anyways, I listened to a couple podcasts. Had a good time listening to Will Sasso on the Harland Highway. Part of what I love about the Harland Highway is that they're not going to be talking about anything that's going on at all. They are going to sit there and fucking bullshit so much that I almost get a little bit like, I open up my phone, I'm like, I think I'm going to switch to a different podcast because it's it almost gets to that point where I'm like, because I'm usually the most annoying person. That's where I've always lived my entire life, is that most of the time, there has been some times where people do annoy me, but just in how silly they can get. But Harland is so fucking silly. I love him so much. He's such a great guy. Will Sasso, he's amazing. I love Will Sasso. One of my favorite Will Sassos is the podcast he did with Theo Vaughn. Now that is another just wonderful combo, and I don't know, maybe I don't know if Harland has been on Theo, but I feel like that might explode my brain if I try to listen to that entire episode, which I would be all for it. But anyways, and then I just listened to Dave Smith, try to fucking take me out of the happy mood I was in. I want to hear what Dave Smith has to say about everything going on right now, and so I listened to that. I really, out of all the messages that I've heard about Charlie, the Dave one is the one that I really like that one. That one, I feel like it was all true, and I really felt it, and then also, instead of just getting angry at the apparent other side, we still don't even know who did it. Don't know why. So instead of just making assumptions, it's the people that, was on the opposing side, the people he was debating. And it very well could have been. So I'm not like taking that off of the table, but I'm just saying we don't know enough yet. Quit getting angry at all these people, because honestly, all the people that are saying that they're happy this happened, they really got some problems. You know, for anybody to be excited about the public execution of somebody, you definitely got something going on. Like, even if you're saying it kind of tongue in cheek a little bit, listen, it's not working. And you know, now I feel bad for the people that are. I don't feel bad for it, but it's just, yeah, okay, yeah, you can spout off all you want, whatever. You are the one that has to live with that in your mind. You're gonna have to live with that being your identity. And I mean, I don't know. It's like, hey, you want to say some shit? You have the freedom to say whatever you want. That's perfectly fine. But I don't know if putting it out publicly is a really good idea at all. That I can't. I know I've talked about it in a recent episode. There's shit that I had on Facebook from a long time ago that I regretted saying, because I had that from when I was 18 until I was almost 30. So I'm kind of glad I don't have that Facebook account anymore. I don't have those memories popping up. I don't have, all that's in the past. It's gone. It's deleted. At least I think. Um, yeah, it still just shocks me that people will put their opinions out there so willy-nilly, and especially such a polarizing, opinion. And hey, you have all the right to do it, but I think you are going to be, if people want to search out who you are, find out who you are, find out where you work, find out, you know, people will do. I would never fucking do that. I'm not a guy that's gonna go over and try to get somebody canceled or whatever they want to call it. But anyways, just started the Charlie Sheen episode on Joe Rogan. I think it's going to be a good one. I listened to a little clip of it. I was eating lunch and I stopped and I saw Joe Rogan put a clip up about it. So now I'm kind of working my way to get the full. Even though he gives in his clips, he gives pretty good context. He starts, it's a 10-minute clip. You get to see the whole conversation, but I don't know. Well, now I want to go listen to the whole episode and kind of check that thing out. Anyways, yeah, got loaded. Little bit of a problem getting loaded because I was loading and I got to like 73,000 pounds total weight, and it stopped. I was watching the gauge and it just quit moving. And it quit moving. The hose was still heavy, so it's still pumping. And if it wasn't, it would have shaken a lot, and I would have lost all my vacuum. So I was like, oh, okay, something's going on here. So I go up to the top, and I made sure I didn't have the hose too deep. Well, I didn't have the hose too deep. It wasn't stuck into the floor of the frac tank, but it was sucking up straight up solid. So I wrote down that I pulled, from all the calculations I can figure out, I think I got like 3,500 gallons on me. So it's like a 3/4 load, or a little over 3/4 load. And I got a lot of solids on me. I know I have to have a lot of solids on me just based on where that hose was, and it stopped sucking. Just imagine what is that? The little fucking ice. You got the ice in the little cone cup. What is that fucking called? An icy? No, I guess an icy kind of. You suck all the liquid out, and then all the solids are there, and then your straw gets all stopped up by the ice. You can suck some of the ice, but eventually it gets clogged up. So it wasn't exactly clogged up. I just had to pull the hose out a little bit, and it cleared it out. But it was full of solids, and I don't know how long I was pulling on just solids, or just had the hose a little bit too deep in there and it was just pulling all them solids up in there, which solids are not really fun. I don't really have to deal with them. It's the guys that offload me or that are going to have to deal with it, but they've dealt with it before. Um, so I'm sure it's going to be fine. What they do is they'll take off the back cap of my truck and everything will be opened up and it could be offloading, but it won't. So there's a couple of different options. I can put pressure on it, which is scary because it's gonna blast that. It's gonna build up. If it's got enough shit in the outlet tube to stop it from flowing, building up a bunch of pressure, it's gonna blast a chunk of solids straight out the back of my truck, and it could get dangerous. So what I like to do is I like to pull vacuum. Because all these solids will settle down there. But if you pull vacuum, they'll kind of float around. They will sink again, but at least they'll float. It'll pull the chunk out of the inlet pipe, and then as soon as it does that, it'll lose all of its vacuum and it will start draining. And then I'll be right there that I can turn the pump off, so I'm not continuing to pull vacuum because it'll shake the fuck out of the truck. And that was something I dealt with the other day. That these guys, they were all climbing all over the back of my truck, and I told them several times, I was like, hey guys, get off the truck. They're like, why? I'm like, I'm gonna go pull vacuum. I need you guys to get off the truck. They're like, okay, well go ahead and pull vacuum. I'm like, no, the truck is going, because I'm backed up to a pit. It's like a 10-foot, 12-foot drop, and the ass end of my trailer is hanging over the edge, and these guys are standing on the edge of the trailer, and I'm like, you guys got to get down. And they're like, you don't think we know what we're doing? I'm like, they didn't say that, but they were really reluctant to listen to me. And I'm like, guys, you got to get off the fucking trailer. Now, don't get back on, and there is a little bit of a language barrier there, but I'm like, don't get back on the trailer, because every time I would turn around to walk back to the fucking truck to turn on the PTO and turn on the vacuum, I would look back there and they're standing on it again. And I'm like, I go back there and the pump is running, but it's in neutral position because I vented the tank. So it won't be pulling. The truck is in neutral, but it is running. And I'm like, guys, get off the fucking trailer. And so they get down. I go back over there. I'm watching them. I'm like, stay the fuck off this fucking trailer. And I turn it on vacuum. And then I walk back over there, and one guy starts to get back on the truck again, and he's like, it's not doing anything. I'm like, dude, get the fuck off the trailer. I'm like, God, I don't know how much this trailer is going to shake whenever it pulls that plug in there and starts sucking air, but it's going to be violent. It's going to be violent, and I need you to get the fuck off of the truck. Get off of the truck. I'm like trying to explain to them what's going to happen. And yeah, the language barrier. They are Espanol of some sort. I don't know. Anyways, one guy was still holding on to the truck. He wasn't on the truck, but he was standing there holding on to the truck, which is fine. He's not going to get launched into the pit now. And eventually it built up enough vacuum. They're wondering what the hell's going on. I'm like, dude, it's not a fucking shop vac. You don't just turn on the vacuum and immediately start sucking. I was like, there's a lot of fucking headspace in this goddamn tank, man. Oh, and then I looked over there and they had the inlet tube open. Because I wasn't on that side of the truck, so I wasn't able to see it. And we were sitting there for a while, and they kept getting on the fucking truck. I'm like, get off the truck. And I look over there. I was like, hey, close that fucking valve. And they close up all the valves. And I was like, hey, not the fucking lower valve. Oh, the fuck. Do you guys you guys don't understand what the hell's going on here. And this is dangerous. I mean, honestly, I'm getting a little frustrated, but it's like, if you don't have, you would think these guys have a little bit of knowledge on how a vac tanker operates. That I'm trying. I'm like, you guys just. And I'm not even supposed to be over there. I'm supposed to be in a full chemical suit and everything to be over there. But I'm like, they don't have any chemicals laying around like they did the other day when I fucking got that chemical burn on my fucking lip. They don't have any of that shit laying around. So I'm like, it's pretty safe. But I've tried to just like not be involved with the offloading process, but if there's a problem, I got to go over there and solve it. So, anyways, eventually it did. They closed that valve. It built up enough vacuum. It sucked the plug in, and then I turned the pump off, and then it started flowing. And I was like, there. And the truck it shook. I mean, it didn't jump super violently, but I have seen them jump quite violently. So it's like, I need you guys to really listen to. I'm the operator here. I know this is my truck. I use it all the time. I know what it's going to do. It's going to jump when air gets in there. And if you're standing on the plank, you're on the fucking edge of the pirate ship on the plank, and the boat just starts shaking really bad. There is a possibility of you losing your grip. You're in rubber boots on a wet, painted surface. It's painted diamond plate, but it defeats the whole purpose of diamond plate. I don't know. It's slick as fuck when it gets wet, and I got these rubber boot guys just standing on it with rubber gloves and suits on, and it's like, can you guys just not fucking be on the truck while it's operating, please? Like, I know it's probably fun. You guys probably enjoy it when this happens. You get to, have a little bouncy party or whatever. But hey, listen, we're like, I don't want, if you fall in the pit, people are going to be looking at me. I'm going to have to give a statement. I'm going to be like, I told them motherfuckers to get off the back. They're like, well, why were they on the back? Well, I told them to get off the back. They kept getting back on. Anyways, everything ended up fine and we got offloaded. Anyway, we're going to have that same process tomorrow, I'm sure. I'm pretty fucking positive we're going to have that same process happen tomorrow where it's going to be clogged up and I'm going to have to pull vacuum. Now, there used to be a little short hose with the end of it cut off that we could attach to the back end of my trailer, so there was a walking space in between the trailer and the pit, and then the hose would go into the pit, so it was a little bit safer doing it that way, and maybe I should look for that hose again or something, but honestly, the hose is only a 6-inch hose, and I have an 8-inch opening. It tapers down from 8-inch to 6-inch, and whenever you're clogged up like this, you want to have as big of an opening as possible. Now, there's another way we can do this. We can either pressure off, which is dangerous. We can vacuum it in, which is less dangerous, but not if these fucks don't listen. And then we have a third way that works where they grab their fire hose and they just blast into it. They just shoot their hose from a safe distance away. They'll just shoot the hose into the tail end of the truck, and it'll eat away at those solids enough that eventually the weight of the water that's sitting on top will just push the rest of the shit through. And that's usually the safest way to do it. Or I'll do that in conjunction with vacuum, because they're blasting it. It's putting pressure towards with the vacuum. Also, it'll release better. And then I got people, those usually nobody wants to be in the spray zone of a fire hose, so nobody's on the back of the truck. Everybody's in safe area, and it works out. But I don't know. Sometimes I come to this place, I'm like, hey, is there any fucking buddy I can talk to around here that will understand what I'm saying? Because I know you guys just get shit done around here, but holy shit, can we have a little training party, like maybe a little meeting right before we do it? But no, they do this shit all day, every day. But of course, certain situations are different. They don't really normally have to deal with solids in a tanker. That's why they have vac boxes and dumpsters where the whole back door opens and everything. That's usually for their solids and shit. But yeah, we're just rolling around, having a good time today. I got real angry at a car earlier. It was a Tahoe, Chevrolet Tahoe, and it was a Lincoln Navigator. Sorry. There was a different Tahoe at a different point in time, but the one that just recently happened, why I was like, okay, I'm gonna go ahead and record because I'm a little fired up right now. But yeah, I'm on the highway and I'm coming through Wichita, and I'm on the final corner to get out of Wichita, and there's a long on ramp for another highway that joins in, or from the city or wherever the fuck it comes from. I don't know, but it's a long on ramp, probably at at most a mile long. It's a very long on ramp, but people, and I'm coming around a corner. Usually I have to slow down a little bit because I get a little fucking wiggly in the seat coming around this corner. So I slow down a little bit coming around the corner. People are getting on the highway, but they're not using the on ramp. Like 7/8 of this fucking mile long on ramp is never used because people just jump over onto the highway. And I know that, so I get over into the left lane if I'm available. I'll get into the left lane, let these people get on the highway. These fucking Wichita fuckheads, they never will let me back over. They'll just hang out beside my fucking tanker truck. I already slowed down into an uphill section, so it's hard for me to gain some speed. But so I had a semi and a couple other cars get on, and there was this white SUV that got on. It was behind the semi. I passed the semi, and I get over, and then there's this white SUV comes up, and I got over to be nice to let them pass the semi because they were right on my ass. And I understand you get on the highway and then you're stuck behind two slow semis. I'm like, all right, I'll get over and let you go by. They're slugging it by me. And then I ran up, and there was a guy in a camper that was going 55 and a 75. Dangerous. Like, I know the minimum says I think 45 or something. It's still dangerous because I'm coming up. Oh, I just got over this hill and I come down, and then there's this fucking camper doing 55, and this white car is not getting out of my way. I have to hit the brakes on the downhill section. This is where I'm usually will gain up all my speed and I'll be gone, But I was gonna let this little white fucking SUV get by. I have to slow down the fucking semi truck that I passed. This motherfucker gets all. He sees me get on my brakes. He gets beside me, and I'm like, dude, I'm faster than you. I'm way fucking faster than you. But he got up next to me. I got a white fucking SUV next to my cab. I got this semi truck next to me, and I'm on the brakes into the back of a camper. I didn't hit it, obviously, but I got blocked in, and then by the time this fucking slow ass semi finally passed me, there's all these other fucking cars, and I saw an open area. I put on my blinker as the last car of the heavy section was passing me. I put my blinker on, but it's going to take me a little bit of time to get some speed, but I can pass this fucking camper pretty fucking quick. Just let me over. No, these fuckers, as soon as they saw my blinker turned on, everybody fucking sped up, and they were right next to me. Because I was already speeding up because I was getting ready to make a pass. I had to get back on the brakes, and then it just became a fucking big mess. I'm stuck behind this fucking camper, and I got all these people, and my blinkers on, and I was bumping the line. These guys, I was bumping the fucking line. The last guy that was there that decided to overtake me, I just started getting the fuck over. I said, do you not see my fucking blinker here? I'm getting the fuck over. And he scurried on past me. And then that fucking Lincoln Navigator, I almost caught back up to him. It's like he was slowing down to fuck with me. And then as soon as I started getting a little bit close to him, he took back off. And I don't know. I hope he fucking stubs his fucking toe. I hope he has to pee really bad, and there's no truck stops available for miles, and he's got to pull over on the side of the highway and take a leak on the side of the highway and Maybe somebody captures a picture of his little tiny dick. I don't really want to be too offensive to the tiny dick community because I am part of that community. But holy shit, I don't want a picture of mine. I'll get a picture of yours out there, you fucking douchebag on the highway. Anyways, no, I've been daydreaming a lot lately about going on Kill Tony. This has never happened, obviously. Like, no, if the opportunity ever did arise, where I was able to make it down to Austin and sign up, you have to be in line. You have to. There's only 300 spots, and then they only pick like 5 of them. So you gotta be really wanting it. But anyways, this will never happen. So I'm gonna go ahead and give it away. And I would never do this in a local comedy club. I would only do this on Kill Tony if I got chosen to go up on stage. I would walk out of the curtain. I would walk up to the mic and say, "Hey, have you guys ever seen the Naked News?" And I would start unbuttoning my shirt. I'd make sure I wear a buttoned-up shirt, and I'm like, I wouldn't cough, but say, "The Naked News is my favorite," and then I'd start unbuttoning my shirt, and then take it off on the ground. And then everybody, hopefully people would start laughing or something, but probably not. They'd probably be like, "This is a fucking weird guy," and my fat belly hanging out and everything. Because I do have, like, I don't like my body at all, especially the way it is now. And I'm doing this skit in the body I'm in now. What if I lose weight? It wouldn't be as funny. So, anyways, I got to be a fat guy still, and I take off my shirt, and I got fucking. I was frying bacon the other day, and I laid a new slice of bacon in there, and it popped all over my fucking belly, and I had all these red spots. I looked like a fucking leper on my belly. But anyways, so maybe I still have these welts on my belly when I do it, but I strip off my shirt, I undo my pants, and I pull down my pants, and I'm standing there. I don't take my feet out of my pants. I leave my pants around my ankles, and I'm standing there in my underwear, and then I pull my underwear down, and then I don't trim for a while, have a big ass bush and my tiny little dick, and then I just stand there, and then the little cat meow meow. I'm like, all right, Tony, and then I stand there and I do the entire interview with Tony, stripped down. But I say, have you guys ever heard of a grower, not a shower? And then I have that girl that brings all the drinks out come over, and I'm like, just stand right there, and then watch this. Like those little. It was like a little pill thing that you can put in a bowl of water, and it grows, and it looks like a fucking Tyrannosaurus Rex or whatever. I do one of those. I don't do one of those. My fucking tiny little dick becomes large because I'm pretty sure, like, this is getting a little fucking weird here. You guys probably don't even want to hear it, but uh, I'm not kidding. It's so small, but that's not what I use in the bedroom. I am such a fucking grower. I don't know. I don't really research dicks all that often, but the the grow size of my cock is actually quite impressive. A lot of people have like big soft dicks. Is what I imagine. Uh, Not me. But I do get a decent dick on me when it's hard. I'm definitely like the grower not a shower thing applies to me quite hard. Now we went from talking about how sad we are about Charlie Kirk to my tiny dick. This is, I mean, my podcast here is a thing of wonder. Okay, so anyways, I gotta use some comedy here. I gotta get a little fucking wild here because uh, I don't know. I don't like to be sad. I don't like to think about, my kids and all that stuff. I like to think of me standing in front of a gigantic crowd with my tiny little dick out, and then growing it for during the interview. And then, a lot of these interviews, I think people are missing the point in these interviews. Like, They come out, they do a shitty set or they do an okay set, and then they talk and they're like, "Oh yeah, I'm a data analyst." It's like, no, come on, man. They're not like, this isn't a background check. You're on a comedy show and you're like, "I'm a data analyst. I do nothing fun." Make something up, dude. Because I don't know. I'm more of a on the fly type of guy. So I'm pretty sure if he's like, "What do you do?" I might say I mean I do have a kind of an interesting job. I have interesting stories. I mean that's what this podcast is, kind of based on. Um, but if you don't have anything, like, what you're signing up for. I cannot believe these people are signing up, and I know it's nervous, and I know, and I've been in that situation before. I tried doing karaoke. The last time I tried to do karaoke, I froze up. I was horrible. I didn't like it. I thought people were laughing at me, and I wanted them to laugh at me. That's the weird thing. But anyways, just for me to be in a very vulnerable spot. I mean, my naked body has never been like outside of a room. So bringing my naked body in front of all these people, I think would be really funny. And I would definitely, I would, I would probably do something like that. Or I like to think of the idea of me doing something like that because it would nobody's allowed to have their phones. And it's going up on YouTube. They can't put a naked guy on YouTube. They can blur out or put a little Kill Tony microphone or something, and I mean, I think it would be really fun to be like, "Hey, can you put the smallest sensor over my penis when you put this out on YouTube, please?" Like, I think it would be so fun. It would actually help my comedy if people realize how small it is. And then whenever I do the growing part, make it like go also kind of large. I don't know. It would be kind of funny. It would be a really cool thing. But I've never seen anybody do that. But I'm like, I don't know. Would you get in trouble for something like? I mean, obviously they are gonna not be happy with it, but I have never seen them interrupt anybody's minute before. So I wonder if you could get away with that during that. And the laughable size of my penis would definitely shake the room. But hey, listen, I'm not over here trying to say a lot of people like to talk about how big they are. This thing doesn't get in the way of anything. The balls are the problem. The balls are definitely a problem. I don't think I have large balls, but I have normal sized balls, and I have sat on them before. On a hot, stretchy day, I have sat on my balls. Or I have the dog jump on my lap right onto my ball. Like, the balls is definitely a problem. The dick, never been in the way, ever. Other than when you got those random boners in middle school, that was where it's like, oh shit, this thing, people can definitely see this, but it's like, do I want people to see this? I gotta hide this, but it's like, what people want a large cock, so why would I not? Why would I try to hide a large cock when I got a large cock when it's like this? I don't know. Anyways, this podcast is gonna. I'm pretty. So this goes to another thing. YouTube has been fucking with me a lot, like a lot. I have been getting fucked with on YouTube. Now I've never set it to where, because you can do on like actual YouTube Studio. Go to the desktop website if you're on your phone, and you can change like things about every video that gets posted up. So I did not change this. And whenever I post up a video, or anything that I post up, I want it to be public, correct? So I posted and I just do have an RSS feed that we're getting into inside baseball or whatever, the hockey sticks or whatever the fuck you want to call it. I just post the RSS feed over to YouTube, or I take my RSS feed from YouTube. I don't know. But anyways, whenever I hit post on Spotify for creators, it automatically takes it over and puts it on YouTube without me doing anything. Anyways, this was where my buddy Tyler, the episode I did with him, he called me like a day or two later, and he's like, "Hey, I didn't finish that. He's like, I wanted to listen back to our episode, and I can't find it anymore. I watched half of it, and now it's gone. Like, it's off of your page or whatever. So I got on there, and I found out that YouTube has been selectively making my podcast private. So I had a shitload of them on there, and they weren't in order or anything. It was like, this one's private, then skip 3, and then it's public, and then so there were several podcasts that I had put up that I thought were getting watched on YouTube that were not getting watched at all because they were all private. So I went through and I made them all public, and then now every single podcast that I put up, I have to go in. And no shit, this last podcast, the Charlie Kirk one, and the last one I did, what was it? The one right after Charlie Kirk. Oh, the door is closed or something. Keep the door closed. Well, I don't remember what. I'm bad with my own shit. I don't know. But anyways, I've had to go through and make them public 3 times each. I set it to public. I hit save. I upload it. Or it's already been uploaded, but then I make it public, and it's got a little world image, a little globe image next to it. Get off of the website. An hour later, I get on to check, and they're back to private. What the hell is going on? So, anyways, on YouTube Studio on the website, you can go through and you can have it set every single video that you post to be either public or private. And it was set. I did not change that setting. Something happened where it made every single one of my podcasts or everything that I put up goes into straight to private, and I would have to go change it manually. And now I went through and I changed that setting, make them all public, save, and it's still doing it. It's still making my podcast private, which is, it's like, am I big enough to be in this situation? Like, you're keeping it private from nobody. Like, there's not that many people watching on YouTube. So what the hell is going on here? But so anyways, I don't know. I need to get on there again. I guess I could check it real quick and see, because I have not posted anything recently other than this morning, and I made sure everything is on public, private, apply. All right, nothing has been taken down yet, but things have in the past, and it's really, really annoying, and it's making me wonder if maybe I should just quit putting shit out onto YouTube. But I don't know, because I'm really not getting a lot of movement on YouTube. It's mainly on the Spotify, but anyways. What else is going on tonight? I don't know. Oh, almost hit a bird. Almost hit a bird. A bird gun flew down right in front of my windshield and scurried off real quickly. We already talked about UFOs, I think. I don't know, man. It's we're just living our lives here. I think it would be really funny to go be naked on Kill Tony. And I don't think they would interrupt me. I don't think Tony would stand up and be like, "Hey, yeah." I don't think any of that would happen. I think it would. My hairy ass and my tiny dick would be on the YouTube. Like, I don't know. Maybe he'd just cut it completely out. I don't know, but I don't know. I just can't believe these people. It's like, do you guys watch the show? You get up there and then you don't have anything prepared. I mean, your set is one thing, but like your set is 1 minute, and then you have like 10 to 15 minutes of an interview afterwards. And I did notice on a couple episodes that, like, the set doesn't go that well, but the interview goes pretty well, and he'll give you a joke book, just for a good interview. Like, I didn't really like your comedy, but if you're good enough during the interview, you can still make it. But I don't know. I think I'm pretty. I don't do it, but I'm sure somebody else, like, even if they don't like the set, this person puts it out, puts up a horrible set, doesn't do well. People sometimes people will still go seek you out. Like, you are a special person. You were on Kill Tony, so they'll go check it out. So even if it doesn't get great feedback on the show, it could get picked up in the back end or whatever. But no, I love that. I think it is kind of really difficult to be funny in 1 minute, especially if you're not a comedian. But listen, it works. It's very difficult to go out there, especially some of these episodes where they're just bantering back and forth, or they just have a big fallout during the last interview, and then the guy walks off, and then it's just some fucking poor sap walks up and is like, "I'm gonna try to be funny for 1 minute," and then it doesn't work. Sometimes it's like trying to follow some of the other interactions with a not very funny minute. But so I don't know. But yeah, me trying to be prepared for something. I don't know. I guess just doing the podcast is what I would do to prepare for anything. I mean, maybe if I would actually put some time and effort into doing something if I ever got the chance to go to Austin and sign up, but I'm not planning on doing any of that. I don't want to. I'm not really interested in going to the comedy clubs. I mean, maybe I should. Maybe I'm being dumb, but I don't know. It's hard to think I'm funny enough. But I mean, I got listeners here think I'm funny, so I don't know. But that's also just a weird thing to talk about. It's like, I can be funny. Um, Caldwell, Kansas. We're rolling around. Don't pull forward. Thank you. Caldwell, Kansas, the border queen. It's a cool little town, but there is no service. Literally no service in this fucking town. It's kind of insane. I get great service in the middle of nowhere that way and in the middle of nowhere that way. But once you get into town, no service. Nice little town here, though. People sitting out on their porches, playing with their kids. Bikes and trikes sitting out on the side of the road here. Old school cars. It's a cool town. There's a restaurant out here that I've eaten at a couple of times, but they're weird because they're not open all the time. It's like it does not seem to be like on any sort of schedule. It's like if we show up, we're open, and it's like, I don't know. I don't even know if they have like times and days set on their door there. That's just like, we show up, we flip the sign, and people show up, or they don't. Looks like they are open right now, but barely. It barely looks like they're open. I don't know. I am staying at the Holiday Inn Express tonight. Whoop whoop! I feel so comfortable at the Holiday Inn Express, and I'll tell you what, the bellboy or whatever the fuck, the guy that stands behind the counter, that guy, the concierge or whatever, that's a word. Uh, this guy, I went in there the other day, and he's like, "Oh, I remember you." I was like, you guys heard my podcast. You guys heard that I like to be recognized, and now you're going to start recognizing me. And even over the gas station or truck stop restaurant, the lady, she's like, oh, do you want the same thing you got last time? I'm like, what are you guys doing? You guys listening to my podcast? You got Kletus Ray's Roadside Service in your ears over here? What the hell's going on? I was just bitching about how you guys never know who the fuck I am. I'm a fucking nobody when I show up out here, even though I spend most of my time here. It's like I stay at the Holiday Inn and I eat at the restaurant at the truck stop every single time. And nobody ever recognizes me. I'm a nobody. No, I'm here so fucking often, and nobody knows who the fuck I am. Nobody even wants to look at me. I feel like a leper when I walk in these fucking places. And then as soon as I start staying at the Comfort Inn and eating at the barbecue restaurant, and they're like, oh, hey, come on back. Oh, I remember you. Yeah, you call. I call her, and she's like, yeah, I know you who you are. Just from the tone of your voice. And it's like, wow, that feels really good. And then, obviously, if the Holiday Inn is open and I can get a room there, I'm going to use them. And then now they're recognizing me. I'm like, I don't know if you guys earned me yet. I don't know, because those other places, I barely even went there, and I'm family. You guys, I've been over here for fucking years. I've been coming out to these places. Literally years I've been coming out to these places, and you guys still don't know who the fuck I am until this week. The week that I start bitching about it. Now I'm angry. Now I don't want you to know who I am. I might start wearing some disguises or some shit when I come in there. It's kind of hard to disguise my bright orange shirt with my company logo on it. It's like I'm the only guy from this company that ever comes out here. Recognize me. See me, please. And he gave me a free bottle of water. He's like, oh yeah, those are complimentary. I'm like, why don't you ever offer those every time I come in here? You never offer me a bottle of water. I ask for one. He's like, oh yeah, actually, those are complimentary. Not the Dasanis. I'm like, I don't want no fucking Dasani anyways, bud. Dasani is gross. You couldn't pay me to drink that. I'd rather drink your fucking any water. Dasani. I don't even know. My wife called me, and I remembered to say Dasani after that long conversation I just had with her, probably 30 minutes. Anyways, yeah, Dasani. I was talking about how I don't like Dasani. Dasani is fucking disgusting. And that all falls back to me popping kettle corn, because the guy I used to pop kettle corn with, he used to buy a bunch of cases of Dasani and let it sit in his garage forever, and then we would take it out and we would sell bottled water and kettle corn. And if I was thirsty, I would just grab a Dasani and drink it, and it was never good. It didn't matter how thirsty I was. Dasani was disgusting. I did not like it. I think it sat in his garage or sat in the sun for too long. I don't know. But it was, if I have microplastics in me, I'd bet you they're from that fucking Dasani. That Dasani tasted fucking horrible. But anyways, we're headed over this way. We still got a little ways to go. We got another 40 minutes of driving to do. Holy moly. We got this drive. I do like the drive, but it does not get any shorter. It's like, man, my hotel is right that way. Like, I could probably point straight at it because it's so flat and it's really far away. But it's like, yeah, it's 40 miles that way. That's where I'm headed. I'm going 40 miles in a straight line. I don't know. Doing the podcast, listening to podcasts, going on phone calls definitely helps out. Because like that last half hour, I don't even remember. I was on autopilot. I don't even know how I got to where I am right now. But no, we still have a ways to go. I guess 40 minutes is nothing. But I don't know. In the grand scheme of things. So I've been watching a lot of YouTube on 5-pin connectors. There's a guy, I think it was Wiring Guru or what, I don't know. I talked about it the other day, but there's a emergency wiring guide. I don't know. It's some guy on YouTube that wires all this stuff up on pegboards, and I've been watching him a lot. And I think I definitely have come to the conclusion I don't have enough relays. I only have 6, and I think he used 6 relays just for the lighting of the vehicle. Now, I don't know if I necessarily need to get a whole nother box with 6 more relays, or if I can just buy like a bag of individual relays that just kind of maybe mount those uh, like inline fuses and relays, or maybe another like little distribution block underneath the dash of my 79 K10. That's the truck I'm working on. We went from Charlie Kirk to Small Digs to now we're to my zone right now. Got a tractor up here. I'm gonna pass this guy. Anyways, it is possible. The 5-pin connector relay it's gonna work out. If I just watch this video as I'm doing it and just do everything he's doing, but now I need to buy more wire. So the wire that's in the truck right now, it's either salvaged from the original wiring harness, or it is new wire, or just wire scraps I had laying around, and I don't have a lot of it. And I don't necessarily like all the colors that I got there. I'm not going to throw it all away. Whenever I rip out this old fuse box, I'm just going to cut them as long as I can and I'm just going to rewire the entire fucking truck. I thought about maybe leaving everything the where it is and just kind of adding on to it, but I think for my own good, I think it would be a way better idea to go through with a bunch of zip ties and wires and just zip. I'm going to go through a lot of zip ties. I'm going to be cutting them and reusing them and whatnot. Or maybe I'll use electrical tape. I don't know. But wrap these wires up. I want everything to be organized. Whenever I have a wiring issue on this truck, I'm trying to eliminate any wiring issue whatsoever. But if I have a wiring problem on this truck, in the state that it's in right now, I'm lost. And I did all of it. All these wires wired up under the dash, that's all me. And I'm still like, I don't know what I'm even looking at here. So I think I'm gonna buy some wire and try to clean everything up, try to use limited colored amount of wire, and maybe try to find some sort of a tag. Because honestly, the masking tape folded in half over a piece of wire with my Sharpie on it, I don't like that. I don't like that at all. And some of that stuff I have changed, and I didn't rip all the masking tape off, so it's kind of a pain in the ass. Anyways, I want to try to find some sort of wire tags that I can attach and label everything. What I should do that I'm not going to do. I say that right now, but because it's more funds than I'm really willing to spend on something that could be cheaper. But is the actual wiring harness. They sell hot rod wiring harnesses. It comes with the fuse box with everything pre-wired, and all you got to do is run them and connect them. And then anything that it's going to have more than you need, especially for me. It's going to have way more than I need, and I can just coil them up and put them off to the side, and or I could cut them and cap them or whatever. I don't know, but getting one of those would be a really good idea. But I kind of like the idea of what I'm going to attempt, which this fuse box that I got right now. I might just go ahead and just try to wire up the lights. I like the idea of this one being just for the lights, because I'm pretty confident, every bit of lighting in this truck could be ran off of this one box. So, and I'm talking exterior lighting. Interior lighting, that I'm gonna get some glow lights for underneath the dash, and possibly, well, definitely one for like the cab light or whatever. I might try to get some pressure switches. I can drill out the door jamb and mount up brand new pressure switches, so when you open the door, the light comes on. There won't be a dimmer, so, and I don't think that's very important. The gauges are going to be lit up. Maybe I could wire a switch into the the light, because all the lights that go to the gauges are all wired up to power or whatever. So maybe I'll end up putting a switch in the middle of that, and I can put it on the dash, so I can, and I'll just leave it on all the time, and then I can hit it and I can turn off the dash lights if I needed to for some reason. Maybe I'm hiding in the woods. I would just turn the truck off, but I don't know. Probably not. I have a lot of buttons, so maybe I'll do that just so I can use another button, or like especially if if I have 3 buttons, but 4 buttons would look better. I'm gonna go ahead and drill 4 holes, and then I'll put the 4th button in there, and instead of it having a button being nothing, it can control the lights there. But yeah, I don't know. I feel like I've watched these videos before, and that's what kind of helped me get to where I'm at right now. But I'm not very confident in all that, because I don't have one relay. I don't have one relay, and I'm thinking that's what happened to my window switch. I think I burnt the window switch up, and it makes sense because the window motor to roll the windows up and down on the passenger side draws a lot of amperage. Well, not a lot, but probably more than that switch can handle. The driver one still works. It's kind of amazing that it still works. So I need to, before I burn that switch up also, I need to get some relays wired up to any and every switch that I have needs to be going to a relay. And yeah, I got a lot of buttons. So I'm going to have one button for marking lights. So it's going to be like just the orange lights on the front and then tail lights. Another button is going to be for headlights, and that's just going to be the headlights to come on. And then I'll have I think I'm going to go ahead and continue to keep using the floor button for the brights. I have a bright switch on the floor that is powered by your foot. I'll probably keep that going, and because the guy wired one of them up, so I think I can definitely do that. Blinker switch, I think isn't going to be too hard. I still have a blinker on the stalk of the steering column, so I can tap into the wiring for that and use that for my blinkers. Because I had thought about using a toggle switch or something, but I think wiring up my original blinker switch would be a better idea. Now, whenever I get into, this is why I don't know if adding another box is a good idea, or just wiring up individual relays and maybe mounting them on something of my own. Because I'm thinking the headlight one, I'm going to put that under the cab or under the hood. So, because it's a waterproof box, and I can wire it up. And a lot of the wiring for lights and stuff, I'm only going to have the switch wires coming inside the cab. I think that's a better idea, is to have only the white wires coming from the relays to go into the switches. That's all I'm going to need. But all the wiring for the headlights and taillights can be cleanly wrapped up under the engine bay and all go to that one fuse box. Now all the stuff that's inside the cab, the radio, the gauges, the window motors, the interior lights, and wipers, That's one thing I keep forgetting about is windshield wipers. Doesn't matter if this truck's going to be a go-kart or not. I'm going to need windshield wipers. I'm going to need a sprayer. Now, I don't necessarily need a sprayer. I can just, if I think about it, I could probably just get a bottle or like some sort of a pump. I don't know. I don't know. Like I have one of those little pump things. I could just pump that up and then and then just hit the button and have it goes to a hose up under the dash or whatever. And when I hit the button, it fucking sprays on the windshield, or I don't know. I don't know. But definitely having windshield wipers would be a good idea. Um, so I've held on to all the original switches that came off of this truck. I have all the original switches, all the original connectors and everything. So I might try to use that to wire and use the original window wiper switch, because that's one thing that I've been having a really hard time finding a windshield wiper switch that's going to fit what I want, because a lot of the ones that you can find on Amazon or whatever are uh, they're for a steering column that I don't have. Um, so I don't know, and they look too new. I don't like how new they look or whatever. And I also don't really like the windows or the wiper switch that I currently have. It's a little box, and it's got a little spinny deal that you can slide back and forth, and I don't really like that. Um, the closest thing that I found that I might be able to use is off of a Peterbilt. A Peterbilt windshield wiper switch, and I don't know what year or what model or anything, but I've seen them on there, and it's a windshield wiper switch that you uh, pull out to turn them on, and then you spin it to turn it up. I don't know, but I don't. Whenever it comes to wipers, there's a delay. It's not a slow, because if I just think about your windshield wipers, you want them to wipe and then stop. But you want it to wipe at the same speed every time, unless you're on like the fast mode. But if I wire up a switch that I'm going to be able to get that's more widely available, would be like a dimmer switch, which would the wipers, instead of them going, one wipe and then delay for 3 seconds, it's going to just it's just going to go really fucking slow. So, I don't know. If you guys have any ideas for a classic looking windshield wiper switch, maybe I can customize the switch that I've got now and it'll work better. Because, that's the original equipment. Of course, that would probably be better. And I can mount it to the dash. It's just diamond plate. I can cut a square hole in it and mount that in there and make it look slightly correct. But I don't know. Windshield wiper switch is elusive. I'm trying to think of vehicles that have windshield wiper switches. And it's like everything I have, unless I got like a steering column out of my 90s Chevy, and then put the square body steering wheel on it, that seems like one of the best things I could probably do. Because my 92, it's still got the tube. It's not like flashy or anything. It's just a straight tube. It's got the blinkers, the ignition, and the wiper switch is on the blinker. Now I'm thinking maybe finding one of those steering columns. It'll have tilt, and the one I've got in my truck currently, it's for a manual truck, so it doesn't have the column shift on it. And the truck I got right now, it currently has the column shift. If you followed along at all, I want to put a floor shift in this truck. It is automatic, but I think I could fab up some sort of a shifter that I just pull it all the way down for first gear, bump it up to second gear, bump it up to drive. and then for park, because it's going to be an automatic. I'm not changing the transmission. Just park, shift it, put the shifter all the way up to the front. And I know it's possible. There are a lot of automatic vehicles that have a floor shift, so I think I can figure it out and get it to work. But I want it to look like a 5-speed. I'm going to get the boot and everything. It's going to look like a 5-speed is what I'm going after, even though it's not going to be. It's going to be a 3-speed or 4-speed. It's going to look like a manual is what I actually mean to say. But it's definitely not going to be. I'm not even hooking up the kickdown cable. I don't need a kickdown cable. If I need a downshift, I'm just going to move the lever. And it'll select a different gear. Now that could get a little interesting, but my 78 that I used to have back in the day, that's how I drove it. It was on the steering column though, but I would run it. I never put it in drive really. I would always just push it all the way down to 1 and drive it until it's ready to shift, and then just bump the shift up, and then bump the shift up again. And then if you accidentally forgot, you would just put it in neutral. At least you wouldn't put it in reverse. But I don't know. There might be some sort of a safety, like a centrifugal safety. If it's spinning, it puts a block on reverse. I don't know. I really don't know. But I do remember the first time I threw it was my 1996 Chevy I had. It was my very first truck. I was 16 years old. And I remember going home one night, and I put it in park before I stopped. And I thought I fucked some shit up. And I might have, because I ended up replacing the transmission in that truck. But, I don't know. This is super old shit. It does not have a safety. It will put the truck into reverse. If I'm doing 60 miles an hour down a road and I put it in reverse, it will go into reverse. And that's not exactly something I think I want to do. I don't know if I could fit in there today. I definitely could. I don't know if I want to eat at a barbecue restaurant today. I kind of do, but I'm going to go ahead and pass it up. I could go there. I could definitely get in there. Maybe I'll do a U-turn. Maybe I'll do a U-turn. No, I'm not going to do a U-turn. There's nowhere to do a U-turn, really. I can pull off of this 2-lane blacktop onto a dirt road and then try to find a place that's got enough room that's not soft, because it rained out here recently. Find a place that's not soft that I can swing this big fucking tanker around without sinking it. I'm loaded, so it's not a good idea to go off-roading in a loaded tanker in the middle of Oklahoma. Especially when I'm right down the street from I'm going to eat at the truck stop tonight. I would like to eat at the barbecue restaurant. I wish I would have thought of that a little earlier. I would have pulled in there, but I'm past it now. Gone with the wind. It's gone. Anyways, the 79. It's going to be. I'm pretty sure I'm pretty fired up about it. I would have worked on it last night because my wife was like, "Oh, come home, hang out with the kids." I got home, they weren't there. And so I moseyed around a little bit, and then I was like, I need to mow. So I went out and I mowed the backyard. And before I could get the weed eater fired up, she was out there saying, "Come in, spend time with your kids." I'm like, where the hell y'all been? It's not like I got home that early. It was like 7 o'clock. And then they finally showed up, and they go to bed at 8. So I ended up forfeiting the weed eating, which I'm kind of glad I did. I didn't really want to do it. I could not get that fucking weed eater to fire up. It's really starting to piss me off. I pushed the fucking primer bulb 10 times. It says to push the primer bulb 10 times. I pushed it 10 times, set the fucking choke, and yanked on that bitch. It's supposed to, like, the second pull, it's supposed to fire up. and then you wait 5 to 10 seconds, and then you give it throttle, and then it's good to go. And it'll need to warm up a little bit, but it'll go. And I could not get the motherfucker to fire up, which is kind of sad because the other weed eater that I have that is also in really good condition, that one I'm using for my son's dirt bike. I haven't done anything to it exactly yet. I haven't made anything that isn't reversible, but the only other weed eater that I have that should run, because it's like brand new, I got it from my stepdad. He was like, I don't take care of my yard anymore. I have a company come do it. I have this yard equipment. Do you want it? He's like, these are brand new weed eaters I barely ever used. I'm like, yeah, I'll take them. Of course I'll take them. I would be honored to take them. I am, it's hard for me to think about me not taking them. So I took them home, and one of those weed eaters was fucking weird ass thing. You know, like these companies, they try to make something their own. Like, this is a weed eater, but we're gonna make it different so nobody can figure out how to wire this bitch up. I don't know how to wire it. It's got a weird vagina looking fucking head on it. I don't know. And you're probably wondering to yourself, what the fuck does that mean? I don't know. It's a weird head. You don't just wind up the wire. It's some sort of weird fillet looking fucking thing that you put the wire. I tried to look it up online. I looked up the model of the fucking weed eater online. I cannot figure it out. I don't know how to wire up this weed eater. I even have my buddy Luke. He can figure out anything and everything. I was like, come over here, help me fucking wire up this weed eater. He's like, I don't even know what's going on here. I'm like, I know. This is a weird ass fucking weed eater. So what I did is I took the head off of that weed eater. I took the head that I know how to use, you know, a normal head for a weed eater. I put it on this weed eater. So now that's the one that I got that I've been using every now and again. I rarely ever use it, but I really need to use it now because I haven't used it in a while because it overheated. I don't think it necessarily overheated, but it quit running for a while, and then you would have to let it cool down, and then to get it to fire back up. Like, you'd be weed eating, everything's going great, and then all of a sudden it's like, meh, 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 meh. And it's like, it's got gas. The fuel is in the line. The air filter is not dirty. I'm sitting here using it, and it just, meh, 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 meh. And then it's done, and you cannot get it to fire back up unless you let it sit for a while. It's been sitting for months. I figured it'd fire up sitting in the shed, but no, couldn't get it. But I guess I'm kind of glad because I didn't have to weed eat. You know, I was told by the boss, come inside, hang out with the kids, so I did that. But, I mean, I'm telling you guys, last night I was fired up. I wasn't fired up. I was sad, and I was like, I'm just going to go focus on something else right now. And yard work is a great way to just be by yourself. So that's what I was doing. I was trying to do yard work. Didn't get it done. I mean, I got it mowed. I got the whole yard mowed in the back. But it definitely needs weed eated. And I got that new little clubhouse out back. Me and Luke built it earlier this year. We built this whole gymnasium, or whatever you want to call it, a big ass play place. And you know, I get I'm like, you guys don't go out there and play on it. They're like, you don't mow enough. You don't weed eat. I'm like, all right. Well, now I got an excuse. Hey, I did mow, and I tried to weed eat, and you guys still ain't out there playing on it. Y'all get the kids out there with some scissors. Teach them how to use scissors, and have them just go around and cut all the grass. You will find a snake. I know you will. I don't want to tell them that, because then they'll never want to go out there, but you will see a snake. That's why I need to weed eat. So the snakes won't fucking want to hang out in the playhouse. But yeah, the front yard is worse than what the back was, which is odd. Front yard really needs to be mowed. I am also on call this weekend. So if I'm going to mow, it's going to be taking up some of my precious downtime. and I'm not too happy about it. I mean, mowing the front yard isn't going to take that long, but I really need to get that weed eater fired up. I need to get the chainsaw out there, start cutting down some of these saplings and shit growing through my fence, because my fence right now, it's like there's a fucking, the woods are on my fence. I mean, it's like, it's bad. I need to work on that. This is a fence in the front yard. It's not in the backyard up against the actual woods. It's in the front yard, and there's just so much shit that has grown up through the fence that it's like, it's usually completely cleared, and it's a fence, an empty fence from house to my neighbor's, where it meets my neighbor's house. It's an empty fence, nothing on it, but right now it's grown up. It's bad. I have bad vines over there. I had some bushes that went around the entire house, and I didn't like them, so I chopped them all down, but I left the stumps there. These things have been dormant for so long, but just this year, they decided to start growing a bush back. So now I've got all these pines and stuff growing out of the ground, and I got a lot of yard work ahead of me. But we're getting into the slower season. We're not there yet, but we're getting into the slower season where you're not going to have to mow that much. I think I have the record in my neighborhood of least mowed, which isn't good. It's like both of my neighbors, my one neighbor, he doesn't mow that often, but he mows at least once a week, and he's been pretty consistent. And my other neighbor, he mows sometimes every day, if not 3 times a week. And me, in the middle of both of them, it's like sometimes once a month. It's not good. I'm not happy about it, but it's like, I don't want to mow. And then it just makes it harder on me next time I got to go out there and do it. And then I'll go out there. I spent 7 hours out there last month, cutting things down, cleaning things up, making it look really good. And then now it's worse than it was before I did all that. So I just stirred it all up. Now I got a lot of yard work I got to do. Anyways, I'm done talking here. I'm done talking. I'm getting close to where I need to be. I'm out of here. You guys have been listening for a very long time. Thank you for listening. Keep all 18 down. Adios. We're going to talk to you later. Bye-bye.